Hello everyone, welcome to JK Exam Cracker. My name is Bhanu Priya and I am your educator for Sociology. And today we are starting the topic from our Unit 3. The basic topic from Unit 3 which is very important, and today's topic is sex and gender and sexual division of labor. So let's begin with what is sex, what is gender. Because this post in itself is a female post, it becomes very important to understand what are various aspects of gender, why gender inequality is there, what are different issues related with different genders, and how do we go through them. First of all, we have to understand what is the difference between these two terms, sex and gender. Well, when somebody is born, they are born with certain physical characteristics that distinguish them as a male or a female. So, sex is a biological characteristic by virtue of which we call a human being as a boy or a girl, a male or a female. However, gender becomes the sociological or the cultural aspect of the sex, which is that how a male should be or how a female should be. So this notion of a man being masculine and a woman being feminine is all about gender. We have to dig a little deeper into this topic, so let's begin. World Health Organization summarizes, difference between sex and gender. And sex, as I mentioned, it refers to the biological or physiological characteristics of males and females, such as they have different reproductive organs, different chromosomes, different hormones, and when they grow into adults, they have different looks as well. Sex refers to the biological differences. This is to be understood here. Sex refers to the biological differences between males and females. For example, males have different sexual organs, they have different features, the hormones they possess are different and as compared to the females. Sex is usually assigned at the birth. Now, why are we using this term usually? Usually because some babies are born where the sex is not very clear. For example, in the case of the intersex. Okay, sex can be changed in the case of transsexual people who are born with the sex characteristics of one sex and gender identity of the other. Now, as we see in today's society also, that sex can be changed because one person who is born with a particular sex identity, maybe a male is born, but उनकी जो ओरिएंटेशन है या उनका जो अपना कंडक्ट है दैट इज़ फेमिनाइन, सो दे गेट देयर सेक्स कन्वर्टेड इनटू अ फीमेल. सो सेक्स कैन बी चेंज्ड. हाउएवर, लेट्स सी व्हाट इज जेंडर नाउ. Gender, however, refers to the sociological aspect, the sociologically constructed characteristics of a male and female. Now, these are not biological. Gender is not biological. It is social and cultural. Why are we saying that it is social? Because when a child is born with a particular sex, उस ही टाइम पे ये डिसाइड किया जाता है इसका नाम किस तरह से रखेंगे. If it is a male, the name also has to be masculine. If it is a female, it has to be so. If it is a male is born, the orientation of whole family is different for them. The roles and relationships of such people, men का क्या रोल है फैमिली में, सोसाइटी में, और एक वुमन का क्या रोल है. एक छोटे बच्चे को किस तरह से हमने कपड़े पहनाने हैं, किस तरह से उनको कौन सी गेम्स उन्हें खिलवानी है, किस तरह से उन्हें सोशलाइज करना है, सो दैट दे ग्रो आउट टू बी a male and a female according to their sex. So this social construction of male and female, that a male has to be masculine and a female has to be feminine, this is called as gender. So gender is a social, psychological and a cultural formation. It is a social, psychological and cultural construct. This is developed during the process of socialization. तो पूरे टाइम जब हम बच्चों से लेकर अडल्ट तक हमें सोशलाइज किया जाता है सोसाइटी में, हमारा बिहेवियर हमें समझाया जाता है, वी आर ऑल्सो taught at the very first hand that you are a male and you are a female. So different societies and cultures have different understanding of what is masculine and feminine. However, societies, they have different expectations from different genders. For example, females are supposed to be gentle and delicate and soft and caregiving. On the other hand, men are not supposed to be very soft at their behavior. They are supposed to be, a bit fierce and strong, and उनका behavior वैसा expect किया जाता है, females का कुछ अलग expect किया जाता है. तो ये जो सारी construction है ये social है, जो हमारे कल्चर का पार्ट भी बन जाती है, एंड ग्रेजुअली इट इज़ इंटरनलाइज्ड बाय द मेंबर्स ऑफ सोसाइटी ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ देयर सेक्स, सो इट इज़ ऑल्सो साइकोलॉजिकल. फाइन, लेट्स मूव अहेड. व्हाट इज द topic says next for you? People who do not appear to fall under this binary notion of gender, they often suffer from exclusion, discrimination and violence. Now what are we meaning by saying this binary notion? Binary notion मतलब एक तरफ male और female. Mainly the society is divided, these two sexes, these two genders we see, male and female. But now there are also some people who do not properly fall into this categorization, this classification. There are transgender people who might be looking like men but they have a female like orientation, they have female behaviors, they have such characteristics that are not very expected from a male. Similarly, some women are there who are not feminine. So ऐसे लोग जो हैं वो थ्रू आउट अपनी एक आइडेंटिटी क्राइसिस को फेस करते हैं. Gender is also an analytical category because the member of society are analyzed on the basis of their gender. Gender norms. Now what are gender norms? That what are the behaviors that are expected from a particular gender. So gender norms जो हैं वो क्या होते हैं? They are learned and internalized by all the members. Fine. They are taught by our families, our schools, our groups, our other peer groups and other agents of socialization, and they are internalized by all the members of society. How one has to dress up, how one has to speak, what roles are to be performed by someone in the family, outside the family, what is permitted to someone on the basis of their gender. So ये सारी चीज़ें हमें society में सिखाई जाती हैं, and they are also internalized and they are learned and very accepted by the members of society. And gender norms जो है वो अलग societies में अलग होते हैं. कुछ societies में females के role कुछ होते हैं. Like we go to the northeast families, they are what? There are where their females have a very strong position and men mostly stay at home. There are some communities, some tribes where men take care of the household chores and women go out for work. And on the other hand, so वो ही उस society में वैसा normal है, और patriarchal societies में man has a stronger position. तो अलग societies के अलग gender roles होते हैं. Gender is not necessarily defined by biological sex, as we said that some people might be born biologically as men or male but they are not masculine. Similarly, vice versa for females. तो जेंडर जो है बहुत पर्सनल होता है, but it becomes social because man is a social animal and he has to adhere to the rules of the society जिसका वो हिस्सा होता है. Gender intersects with other categories such as class, skin color, ethnicity, religion or disability. Fine. So gender भी एक category of classification बन जाता है when we understand society. Different terms are regularly used in the theories of sexuality and gender. For example, sex, जेंडर आइडेंटिटी, जेंडर एक्सप्रेशन, जेंडर रोल्स, जेंडर रोल सोशलाइजेशन, ये सारी टर्म्स हम मतलब बहुत ऑफन यूज़ होती रहती हैं व्हेन वी अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट आर द जेंडर इश्यूज़. तो जेंडर जो है इट हैज़ अ ग्रेट बहुत डीप इसका पेनिट्रेशन है व्हेन वी अंडरस्टैंड सोसाइटी, लॉज एंड पॉलिटिक्स एंड इकोनॉमिक सिस्टम ऑफ अ सोसाइटी. इन सबको समझने की जब हम बात करते हैं तो जेंडर कट्स क्रॉस द थिंकिंग. बहुत गहराई तक मतलब जेंडर का इफ़ेक्ट हमें हर जगह देखने को मिलता है. जेंडर एक बहुत हैवी वर्ड बन चुका है, या फिर जेंडर की जो डिबेट्स हैं दे आर वेरी हैवी. व्हाई आर दे सो? बिकॉज दे आर यूज्ड बाय द पॉलिटिशियंस. People use gender as a tool to fetch votes. और जेंडर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की बात की जाती है because there are majorly two genders in the society and one gender has been discriminated since ages at the hand of the other. That is, females have been discriminated at the hands of the men. तो इसीलिए जेंडर जो है एक बहुत गहरी डिबेट है बिकॉज इट गोज़ बियॉन्ड इट्स अपनी आइडेंटिटी के बियॉन्ड. जेंडर जो है वो पॉलिटिक्स में, इकोनॉमिक्स में, रिलीजन में, हर जगह में पेनिट्रेट करता है whenever we talk about it. There are some languages which do not have a word for gender. और ऐसी जगहों में मतलब ठीक है, सेक्स जो है that is normally used, and in order to distinguish between sex and gender different terms are used, but interchangeably इन दोनों terms को use किया जाता है. Simply we are saying that sex and gender are mostly used like interchangeably. They are similar but they are absolutely not similar. So far what we have understood, sex is biological, however gender is socio-cultural. This is almost the same explanation what we have understood, so we can skip this slide. When you go through the PDF, please have a read. It is nothing much. Fine. What are gender roles now? Gender roles क्या होते हैं? Now society has roles for the members of it. As members of society, all of us have some roles to perform. हमारे कुछ काम होते हैं, लेकिन जब ये roles या जब ये positions divide होती हैं on the lines of the gender, इसे हम कहते हैं gender roles. That how we are expected to behave or to act, speak and carry out our life on the basis of what is our gender. If it is a female, what are the roles expected from a female? और वो रोल्स उससे इसलिए एक्सपेक्ट किए जाते हैं क्योंकि वो एक फ़ीमेल है. सिमिलरली कुछ है रोल्स जो एक मैन से एक्सपेक्ट किए जाते हैं क्योंकि वो एक मेल है. उन्हें हम कहते हैं जेंडर रोल्स. द डिविजन ऑफ द रोल्स और द रोल्स दैट आर एक्सपेक्टेड फ्रॉम अस बाय वर्च्यू ऑफ belonging to a particular gender, they are called as gender roles. For example, girls are generally expected to dress in a typically feminine way, be polite, nurturing, accommodating. है ना, कहते हैं बेटा वो तेरा भाई है, तुम तो उसकी बहन हो ना, तुम तो उससे ज़्यादा प्यार करोगी, तुम उसको ये दे दो, अपना खिलौना दे दो, अपनी कोई फ़लानी चीज़ दे दो, क्योंकि यू आर अ गर्ल, यू आर गिविंग, you have to care for the family. So such things are expected from women. Why they are expected? Because they are women. Now men are or boys are taught or they are expected to go out and fight on behalf of the family if somebody attacks them. या कुछ ऐसा होता है तो boys, कैसा लड़का है तू, उसने तेरी बहन को कुछ कहा और तूने उसे कुछ भी नहीं कहा, और you did not hit him back. So ये सब चीज़ें सोसाइटी किससे एक्सपेक्ट करती है ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ द जेंडर. सो these are called as gender roles. So gender roles are the expectations, stereotypes and behaviors which are expected of the people because of their gender. Because of their gender, how we are supposed or expected to behave. They are the gender roles. और ये gender roles they come out from the social norms. Now what is gender socialization? Socialization is a process by which the members of society are taught to act in a proper way according to the norms of the society. What are gender socialization now? That how members of society are taught to act in a proper way based on their gender. Gender socialization process होता है through which a culture's gender related rules, norms and expectations are learnt and taught. Gender socialization में कल्चर की जेंडर रिलेटेड रूल्स एंड नॉर्म्स को सिखाया जाता है या सीखा जाता है. अंडरस्टूड? वेरी सिंपल, वेरी क्लियर. Gender socialization is a process through which the gender related norms of the culture are taught to its members. So this process begins at a very early age, like जब बच्चा 2, 2.5, 3 साल का होता है, हम उसे बिल्कुल क्लियरली पता होता है कि मैं एक बॉय हूँ या एक गर्ल हूँ. Now because you are a boy, you are not supposed to put on makeup. You are not supposed to call yourself कि मैं ये खा रही हूँ. You have to talk like मैं खा रहा हूँ. You don't have to dress up like a girl. You don't have to wear a frock. You have to wear the pants. So this is how society starts socializing its members at a very early age, which is as early as 2 to 3 years, or maybe at birth also. You know, there are like different color distinctions. You know, boys are mostly given the dresses and the toys and all that decorations which are blue and, you know, such dark in color, whereas when it comes to the girls, it is mostly pink and red things. Correct? Do you agree with it or not? That socialization जो है वो at the time of birth ही शुरू हो जाती है, but the member in itself starts it by the age of 2 to 3, जब उसको ये identity का notion आ जाता है. So here are the, you know, some clear distinctions between sex and gender. Just a clear quick recap that what is sex and what is genders. Sex refers to the biological and physiological differences, whereas gender refers to the social and cultural differences. Sex has two main categories, male and female, but here these are masculine and feminine. It remains same regardless of time and culture. Gender role and expectations may differ across time, societies and culture. Sex is created by the reproduction needs, that is the biological features of the person decide what is our sex, and gender distinctions are created by the social norms. Social norms create the differences between the genders. Fine, this pictures you may go through in your PDF and have a better and stark difference clarity between sex and gender. Here it is, I want to reiterate, this term is written, sex जो है वो binary होता है, यानी कि only two main categories, male or female. However, gender जो है, it is an umbrella term which is used to describe gender that is not exclusive within the binary spectrum, because the sexual orientations. Now what is a sexual orientation? That what is a person's orientation, how you are oriented towards the other sex, whether being a male you get attracted to a male or a female. Now a male is expected to get attracted towards a female, but if you get attracted to a male getting attracted to a male, so which means that आपकी sexual orientation distracted है. Same goes for the female, that a female is supposed to be sexually oriented towards another male, but when a female is oriented towards a female itself, it is supposed or it is said to be a deviated stuff. ये एक deviation है या फिर कह लीजिए, because it is, you know, agreed or it is like accepted as a part of somebody's, you know, उसका अपना orientation है, it is considered as legal as well now, but this is, society does not consider it to be normal. Well, sexual division of labor. We understood what are gender roles या gender role division क्या होती है, that the roles on the basis of one's gender. What is sexual division of labor? Sexual division of labor, first of all, what is division of labor? Division of labor is a process by which, work is divided among the members of a group. Now, sexual division of labor, the term in itself is clearing and it is self-explanatory that sexual division of labor क्या कहती है? That the division of the tasks and the work of the society on the basis of one's gender. That allocation of the work among men and women, allocation of the work between men and women is understood as sexual division of labor. It is social perception. सोशल परसेप्शन से हमारा क्या मतलब है कि सोसाइटी क्या परसीव करती है, क्या समझती है, दैट हु इज सपोज टू डू व्हाट टास्क या व्हाट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी नॉर्मल और नेचुरल ऑक्यूपेशन. आप सब मेरे साथ ये अग्री करेंगे दैट विमेन आर ऑलवेज और हैव बीन कंसिडर्ड फिट टू वर्क इन द हाउस, कि ये विमेन का काम है, वो घर में रहें, बच्चों का ध्यान रखें, बूढ़ों का ध्यान रखें, घर का साफ़ सफाई करें, खाना बनाएं और अब चार दीवारी में होने वाले कामों का ध्यान रखें. और मेन का एक ये काम रहा है दैट दे आर लाइक द ब्रेड विनर्स ऑफ द फैमिली हु हैव द राइट टू गो आउट ऑफ द फैमिली, गो आउट ऑफ द हाउस, वर्क, अर्न मनी और अर्न वट एवर इनकम एंड टेक केयर ऑफ द फैमिली इन दैट मैनर. सो ये नेचुरल्स माना गया है हमेशा से, until very late when it was challenged that women also have the right to work outside the house. Now, what is sexual division of labor? It is a social perception about what is natural for a particular sex to do as an occupation. A few occupations I would name now: a pilot, a scientist, an astronaut, or maybe an army officer or a frontline आर्मी ऑफिसर. ये सब occupations जब हम सुनते हैं, when we listen to these terms or these occupations, the picture that comes mostly into the mind is that of a man. But when we talk of a kindergarten teacher, a receptionist, a nurse, the picture that comes into your head is that of a female. So this is how deep this gender role socialization goes. That gender role socialization puts it deep into the minds of the members of society, that what is normal for us to do, what is natural for us to do. When a girl child, जब भी कोई लड़की पढ़ती है, पढ़ाई करती है या अपना ऑक्यूपेशन चूज़ करने की बात करती है, तो कुछ साल पहले तक पेरेंट्स कहते थे बेटा यू शुड चूज़ टू बी अ टीचर और मे बी अ डॉक्टर. डॉक्टर इज़ ऑल्सो लाइक अ वेरी लेट फिनोमिना. उससे पहले तक यही था कि आप टीचर वगैरह ही बन जाइए, बिकॉज विद दैट यू कैन ऑल्सो टेक केयर ऑफ़ योर फैमिली, दैट रोल सूट्स यू एज वेल. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट आप नहीं मैनेज कर पाएंगे. हाउ कैन यू फ्लाई अ प्लेन, हाउ कैन यू डू दैट? सो दिस इज़ वॉट that society का perception होता है what is natural for a particular sex to do as an occupation. तो Anne Oakley कहती हैं, very important name this is, she says that gender roles are based on the sexual division of labor and this is cultural, this is not biological, because till very late it has been considered to be biological कि biologically women are a weaker sex, so they are not capable enough to do the heavy tasks like that of an engineering or a pilot or maybe एक army officer वो नहीं बन सकते because उनके लिए ये physically possible नहीं है. But it is not so, it is culturally determined because women का जो काम है it is not on the basis of their biological characteristic but on the basis of what culture they are into. There are different perspectives about मेल का हमेशा से मेल फेवर्ड सोसाइटी रही है and female have not been allowed to get education and work, and because of this very basic reason, this very division, the feminine issues have occurred, like women do not have income, women do not have access to many basic facilities or human rights such as good health, good education, good income, or they do not have many rights. It is like into this era of modernization that now women are getting equal rights in all the parts of the world. Fine. ट्रेडिशनलिस्ट लोग कहते हैं दैट सेक्शुअल डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर इज़ नेचुरल और गॉड गिवन एंड कॉम्प्लीमेंट्री, बिकॉज ह्यूमन रेस को अगर हमें आगे बढ़ाना है तो विमेन को ऐसा ही करना चाहिए कि उसको घर पे रहना चाहिए एंड शी शुड टेक केयर ऑफ द हाउस होल्ड चोर्स एंड गिव बर्थ टू चिल्ड्रन एंड टेक केयर ऑफ देम, रियरिंग एंड केयरिंग ऑफ फैमिली. ट्रेडिशनल व्यू कहता है कि सेक्शुअल डिवीजन ऑफ लेबर इज़ बिकॉज ऑफ that it is good for the perpetuation of human race. मार्क्सिस्ट लोग जो हैं, जो कार्ल मार्क्स की आइडियोलॉजी को मानते हैं, they argue that women's subordination and division of labor by sex originated because of the social differentiation on the basis of economy. Now, how do we understand the Marxist perspective of sexual division of labor? उनका कहना है कि विमेन की पोजीशन सबॉर्डिनेट इसलिए है क्योंकि हमारी सोसाइटी पेट्रियार्कल है मोस्टली, एंड दीज आर द मेन दैट कंट्रोल द मीन्स ऑफ प्रोडक्शन. मेन हैव इनकम, मेन हैव मेड ऑल द राइट्स, ऑल द पॉलिटिकल राइट्स, ऑल द ट्रेडिशनल राइट्स इनटू देयर फेवर, दैट विमेन आर नॉट सपोज टू, दे आर नॉट फिट टू वर्क आउटसाइड. इट इज़ गुड फॉर देम टू बी एट होम so that they do not come into the race, they do not compete with them at all. Sexual division of labor is observed globally and across most cultures. It is everywhere we see that the division of roles is on the basis of the gender lines. Like breadwinner men को कहा जाता है and homemaker कौन है? Women होती हैं. Division is more pronounced in some fields, generally like घर के बाहर जाकर काम करना, डेंजरस काम जो होते हैं, या फिर हाईली टेक्निकल जो काम होते हैं. Likewise, I gave the example of pilots. Piloting as an occupation is mostly masculine. You see that only 12% of Indian pilots are females, and they make the highest number in the world. Highest number of female pilots are in India, and that too it is only 12%. So what is the condition of other nations? So some like जो technical occupations होती हैं बड़ी, या जिसमें dangerous काम, जैसे मैंने कहा कि front line पे जो officers या जो army वाले जाते हैं, women are not considered suitable for them. Typically ऐसी jobs जिसमें science, technology, engineering और maths जैसी चीज़ें, even education is divided on the basis of the gender, and कहा जाता है कि women are more considered more good for care work, जिसमें जैसे कोई रिसेप्शनिस्ट है, you have to speak very softly, तो these women are more suitable. You need good faces to attract more money, like flight attendants and cabin crew, तो वहाँ पे आपको females अच्छी लगती हैं. तो often women and girls are confined performing the roles of mothers, wives, caretakers, और मतलब विमेन को ऐसी पोजीशंस में काम करना नॉर्मल समझा जाता है, और दूसरी पोजीशंस में जो ज़्यादा टेक्निकल हैं वहाँ पे मेन को ज़्यादा समझा जाता है. इट इज़ मोस्टली इन ऑल द सोसाइटीज़, बिकॉज इफ़ यू गो टू द फैक्ट्स एंड डेटा विल सी दिस. नाउ दिस पिक्चर शोज अस that sexual division of labor is like different activities and tasks for men and women are on the basis of their gender, their sex. Tasks like cooking and cleaning, they are undervalued, they are not considered equal, या बहुत ज़्यादा उनको बड़ा नहीं समझा जाता है. like जो हमारी mothers who have always been taking care of the household chores, and maybe the people or our fathers, या हमारे जो मेल हैं या हम बच्चे भी, हमने हमेशा से क्या कहा, you stay only at home, what do you do? Because these tasks are always underestimated. Public domain is kept for men and private is for women. Women को घर में ज़्यादा सही है और men को बाहर public में जाना काम करना सही है. and there are difference in access and control over resources as well. मनी की बात करें तो विमेन के बैंक में अकाउंट्स कम हैं, उनके अकाउंट्स होंगे भी तो उसमें पैसे कम हैं, बिकॉज दे हैव हार्डली अर्नड, दे हैव हार्डली हैव इनकम. लैंड उनके नाम पे नहीं है, टेक्नोलॉजी की नॉलेज नहीं है, टाइम स्पेस ये सब कुछ रिसोर्सेज पे किसने कब्जा करके रखा है? मैन ने. फाइन. How clearly this picture has explained sexual division of labor. And there is one more picture जो being feminine and being masculine हमें उसके characteristics में difference बताती है. That being feminine means aggressive नहीं होना है. एक वुमन को डिपेंडेंट होना चाहिए. हमारी जो घर की माताएं बहनें हैं, दे आर डिपेंडेंट ऑन दी अदर मेल्स ऑफ द फैमिली. दे आर ईजिली इन्फ्लुएंस्ड, ये बहकावे में आराम से आ जाती हैं. सबमिसिव, पैसिव, होम ओरिएंटेड, टॉकेटिव, डिसीजन अच्छे से नहीं ले सकती हैं. दे आर वेरी सेंसिटिव टू अदर्स फीलिंग्स. दैट्स वाई पीपल से दैट द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव ऑफिसर्स हु आर विमेन, दे आर नॉट गुड डिसीजन मेकर्स. दे आर इमोशनल, दे आर नॉट फिट टू वर्क. They cry a lot. Emotional होना चाहिए एक woman को. If a woman is tough, not very emotional, they said, what type of a woman she is? She doesn't have emotions. She is hard-hearted. She is high-headed. Okay. Whereas on the other hand, a man is supposed to be aggressive, independent, dominant, active. Decisive, decision लेने वाला होना चाहिए. Feelings की ज़्यादा कदर ना करे. रोता, men should not cry. Boys don't cry. तो इस तरह के कुछ जो behavioral differences हैं we see when we talk about being feminine and masculine. Okay, with this we have come to end of today's lecture, and today we understood what is the basic difference between sex and gender and what is sexual division of labor, and we will continue with this topic on the gender in our next lecture. Thank you very much.